Hello all, and welcome to another Keymaster episode. I'm Sven, and today I've got one of my best friends that I've ever worked with in the last 20 years.
Admir Abdurahmanovic, co-founder of PrimeKey, now serving at Keyfactor as a SVP Strategy.
And we want to talk about taking crypto asset discovery to the next level. So Admir, tell me, what is the crypto discovery and why do I care about it?
Yeah, we all should. There are different angles we can take this question. If you look from the European perspective, for instance, when we have CSA and other type of regulations, we are being asked that vendors are being asked to provide, for instance, SBOMs or CBOMs. What's in the black box?
What are all the ingredients in the recipe?
Exactly. That could be one angle. The other angle is like if you are like a big enterprise, maybe say you are a bank, and you've been running certain type of software a bit longer than 2 years since SBOM and CBOM became kind of part of the best practices, you might find yourself in a situation you don't know what's in there, right? So just these two examples could give us a reason to take a look a little bit more what's happening. But of course, there are even reasons that are more, how to say, security-oriented, having to do with potential exploits, right?
Yeah.
If we would know that we are running a piece of software that's running some weak algorithm or unupdated version of some protocol or some library, we might end up being hacked. So there are a bunch of reasons why we would like to bump up, if you like.
Yeah, how do we take that to the next level now? What can we do to improve that?
Yeah, so SBOM and CBOMs, it's a topic on itself, for sure, and it's a good step. But there is also aspect of discovery that, for the lack of the better word, I would say is more dynamic, where we want to see what actually is happening in our networks and what do we actually have in the software that's running there. Anything from microservices to all the mainframe stuff.
So something like a TLS sniffing, perhaps?
Yes, sir. So that's very good example. I really like that you have mentioned that. That's one spot-on example what we would like to know. From one side, well-behaved software should probably run on a standardized ports, etc. But you have situations where some vendors want to call in the mothership with maybe some baked-in hard-coded, exactly, and you just don't want that to happen to your enterprise, right?
Yeah.
It's just horrible situation to be in. But of course, there are other good reasons that have to do. For instance, if you have a totally benign TLS connections, but maybe you would discover from the dynamics perspective that certain server is being contacted very often. Maybe then you need maybe to bump up whatever the specs are for that server, or dial up in your cloud with your cloud provider. Or maybe that could be a reason to talk with your software architects and tell them, wait a minute, we have unusual situation that this and that server is being contacted so much. That could be also a good reason to talk with your security analyst or architect, whoever is in charge, to say, okay, maybe this server is actually most interesting point of attack for somebody, right? Because if we bring that down, we might be bringing down the entire operations of the enterprise. So there are a whole lot of reasons why discovery might be a really good thing to do. And yes, of course, as mentioned, it has become practice. We do that in the open source world. That's kind of totally normal thing that you can have your SBOM. But in addition of SBOM, you would also like to see maybe CBOM, cryptographics. What type of keys are being used? Because we're better than I that in some versions of TLS you can maybe negotiate a lower grade algorithm, and maybe we don't want to do that, right?
Or maybe I want to see that everything's TLS 1.3 so I can sleep at night.
I mean, there are really, really good examples that just centering around the TLS, absolutely. But it does not have to be only from that perspective.
Yeah.
TLS, it could be some other protocols. The point is, a large enterprise, unfortunately, does not know what do they have, and we would like, from the industry perspective, to be better serving our users, that they know what the heck is going on there, right? Like you want to know what's under the hood in your car, how the engine works. Yeah, so it's a good addition to this standard best practices. Absolutely.
So then, if we move on, like we see today, analysts are talking about security posture management.
Yeah.
And what does that really mean to me?
Well, it means that you are, say, well aware and well prepared. Certainly, no enterprise would be in a situation that everything is perfect. Security is a process, right? And you
It's
might
a
be
living process.
Yeah, absolutely. And might be planning certain upgrades or changes in how you are deploying stuff, be it on-prem or in the cloud. So yes, it sounds like a buzzword, but it's actually a good thing. Security posture, and in particular cryptographic posture, is very important. Again, to know what is under the hood, but also to be well prepared. And I can tie back to some of the European regulations here. It's actually, I would say, one interpretation. Without good posture management, cryptographic posture management, you might not be able to be compliant, or it will be much, much harder, rather to say.
So how do I take that today and use crypto posture management? What am I getting out of it if I start today?
So you would be looking at the potential tools, as we discussed TLS, for instance, to look at the data in transit. And that's certainly very good. There are open source tools and there are commercial tools that help around that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to the...
So that's network-based, but then what about client bases or client-based option?
And what about then, say, data at rest? That's also very important.
There we go. That's what I was leading up to.
Yeah. There, I would say we are in the beginnings. But what we would like to do, say, as an industry, we would like to be able to properly diagnose what type of cryptographic keys and algorithms do we have in a particular piece of software or an operating system, or I don't know, server software, doesn't matter. How they are used? Are there weak keys? Is there, as we have said, just a moment ago, is there some hard-coded stuff that's talking back to the mothership? Maybe you can analyze the software and figure out, wait a minute, we have a dormant key here that we did not discover from this dynamic perspective where we've been, for the lack of the better word, sniffing the network, right? Mm-hmm. So there is an aspect of inspection that I would say is extremely important. Again, coming back to the example of, say, a bank or any other large enterprise that might be running a piece of software that's 5+ years old, they might have not gotten SBOM, and they might not be able to get it from the vendor. 5 years is eternity in our industry, right?
Yeah.
So
you're definitely out of support.
It would be very, very good to complete the picture, both for the reasons of today's preparedness, mm-hmm. but just as well for the reasons of future preparedness that has to do with imminent transition to quantum algorithms and associated protocols. What do we have that's running old stuff? Because sometimes during the runtime, you have, again, coming back to TLS, you have totally normal communications running 98% of your time, but you want to figure out something that's only been running 2% of time. Is that maybe a potential security vulnerability? And so that
it's giving insight.
It's just kind of good sense logic to figure out what's inside and to be in case that that you have a good tool that you can go back to the vendor and say, wait a minute, why is this hard-coded key? What's that for? There could be different reasons for that as well, certainly. But as the need for more mature processes becomes evident, part of the more mature processes is to have a better management of your cryptographic posture. That has become kind of de facto agreement in the industry, I would say. And as you mentioned, Sven, there are influential analysts that are talking about that nowadays as well. So they have also picked up both recommending to the vendors to bump up their stuff and also recommending to the enterprise users to demand from the vendors to be more, I would say, open with what's under the hood.
All right.
Yeah.
And there we can take a view of how to take your cryptographic inventory to the next level, and we'll see you in the next episode.